clack, 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 having so much fun. Clack, 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 clack.
Chris,
clack,
are you
clack,
playing with a toy?
clack, clack. Toy? Does that look like a toy to you? That is a 1/64th die-cast scale replica of a 2001 Ford F-250 with the Power Stroke 7.3 liter diesel under the hood, and in the back is a handmade epoxy 2-part resin that I hand formed of our 2006 North Star truck camper. If that looks like a toy to you, then I don't know what we're doing here.
Well, I just quit my job today. Do you want to go to Baja, Mexico?
Are you asking me if I want to cash out my retirement fund so that we have no background savings and run to Mexico?
Yes.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Welcome back to Candy Adventures. I'm Chris.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And that right there is Mona.
So if you're new to the channel, we do outdoor content, and we just moved back from Guam after living there for 3 years.
Show a lot of things happening at once. Remind everyone of what's going on. And with every shot, show a little improvement. To show it all would take too long. That's called a montage.
We're supposed to be a truck camper channel or an RV off-road channel. After living on an island for a long time, we just wanted to get out and stretch our legs in some big wide open deserts. That didn't happen. Had a lot of family emergencies in the last few months, but we just made the smartest or the absolute worst decision of our entire lives by deciding to cash out $4,000, which is the entirety of my retirement from the federal government, to take this 21-year-old truck and head to Baja, Mexico. No safety net, YOLO. But before we get going, there's some things we need to take care of. This truck's been sitting for a while. This camper's been sitting for a while. We need to figure out how we're going to take a dual sport motorcycle with us, probably mounted on the front. We have a CRF 300L, probably going to sling on the front. We need to figure out how to mount a generator on the back and some spare gas cans. And we need to clean all this and fix some stuff. We've got some water leaks and a lot of maintenance that we need to do in the next day or two before we get on the road.
Yeah, so today's episode is just going to be preparing for our Baja trip.
Probably gonna have to get the welder out. You're gonna see some of the world's ugliest, most disappointing welds that you've ever seen. And we're gonna figure out how to load up our surf fishing, because in line with us only spending $4,000 and eating expired food, we are going to try our damnedest to eat as much seafood as we possibly can that we catch ourselves in Baja with some surf fishing rods and some other fun tactics that we have planned. Torklift International did send us a free full set of their fast gun
tie downs.
Yep.
And locks. It was really, really nice. They reached out to us, and of course we're going to say yes because Torklift is a really great, reputable brand. So we're going to try those out too and swap them out for ones we have now.
So we're not sponsored in any way by them, but we did get them for free. We want to be very open about that. But they're super awesome because everything we're a part of here is mostly shitbox. We got leaking water, we got a very old truck, and so the ability to have the fast guns, if you do need to take the camper off really quick and unhook them and slide the truck out really fast, that would be really nice if we have to work on this thing or we get down to Mexico, we have to put it in a garage, and you know, we have clearance issues with getting it in the garage. So
we gotta put those on too.
All right, so first things first, I want to get I think the hardest thing out of the way, and let's figure out a way to mount our stuff on the back. I'm gonna get the welder and a drill, and let's get to work.
Okay.
It'll hold fishing rods. All right, so we got the first one on. Now we're going to mock up and use our first one as our distance gauge, because this has 2 holes in it. We're going to drill 1 hole on that side and put a second support here so we have a nice raised place to hold our surf rods. Right, 1/4 inch. All right, so we got it all welded up, bolted in place, and the idea, proof of concept, is the surf rods will go back here like this, so that seems to work. Then generator can travel right like this. I also thought that these extra pieces of angle iron would also be an additional securing point that you can use to tie the generator down, just make you feel a little bit better, because our rear rack is kind of a flat top. So you can still get into the door, and then your poles are easily accessible. And
whoa!
When we back up to the ocean and some of the beaches, we can use these as rod holders. So the gear systems on these campers, for some reason, these cranks, which is how this goes up and down, it rides in these teeth. There's this gear in here, and this removes, so when you travel, ours gets stuck all the time, and apparently it's a common problem with these. So we ordered another one, but I've been sitting here wiggling on this one for about 10 minutes to try to get it out without breaking something. There's nothing holding it in there. It's just the gears in there kind of mushroom out, I guess. The other thing that can happen while you're cranking on this is if those gears slip out, this thing will kind of bonk you on the head, the roof, because there's nothing holding it up. So we ordered another one of these. It took like 2 or 3 months to get here. They were on back order, but we're glad to get this old one out. Tired of getting bonked on the head and having this thing stuck in here. So hopefully, there it comes. So here's the old one. You can see how the teeth are all marred and kind of destroyed, and they get in there and get mushroomed out, and they stick in the gear. And this one's all brand new, so hopefully,
Hypothetically.
oh yeah, like butter.
Wow.
Yeah. So hopefully this lasts our Baja trip, because when we bought this camper,
that was the good one.
Before us, this was the good one, and they had like 3 or 4 of these in here. So hopefully this will at least get us through Baja, this one good handle.
It's probably why they don't make this pop-up style really anymore. All the new pop-ups have the legs on the side with the buttons that raise the top up. There's not this gear track system. I don't know when they stopped it, but this is exclusively like an older pop-up camper sort of mechanism. So, you know, one day when we're famous on YouTube, we can upgrade to a different pop-up system.
I hope so. We love this old camper, but it's an old camper. And anytime you have a camper that's 15, 20 years old, you start finding little water leaks and little things aren't working quite right. And it's no fault of the manufacturer. We'd love to have a newer North Star camper, but just one of the realities as stuff starts getting older, that's what starts happening.
It is day 2. Chris is doing work for family members today. So I'm going to tackle the start of mold and mildew growth on our canvas. The camper has been sitting for 6 months or so, and it rains more in Asheville than it does in Seattle. So there's an accumulation of just moisture in general. We don't have a covered dry place to put the camper where we're living at the moment. So it's just been out in the elements. I'm going to try to remove some of this stuff. The good thing about the Baja trip is it will be much drier on a consistent basis and hopefully less rain overall. So that'll give the camper a chance to just dry out a little bit more once we start going. So I'm still in the process of demolding / preventing more mold, and like as I take things apart, you find more like stuff that we've never cleaned before, or maybe the people that own this before never cleaned. This is the vent. This is the part that I just wiped. I don't think she's been cleaned in a long time. Well, bam. I'm also putting up a $1 shower curtain, and that's because we've never used this indoor shower before. Granted, we've only been in the truck camper a couple times, but we anticipate when we go to Baja, there's just going to be beaches where we don't really feel comfortable using an outdoor shower because there's going to be people around. So why not just splurge for $1 and put up a shower curtain, and then it's always a backup. Look at all of this action taking place here. Isn't this fun? It's like we're doing it together.
All right, so welcome back. So I just got through spray painting our rack here. It's a very old steel rack. It's about 25 years old, but it looks nice. And we just put nice thick coats of this bare metal from yesterday where we welded up our rack, and it looks pretty good. And if I coat my 99-cent spray paint thick enough on here, you almost can't see how horrible and ugly and splattery those welds are. But let's see how this works for a big moment here. And it holds a fishing rod. My welds are officially strong enough to hold fishing rods. But we'll be carrying our generator back here and a gas can. We'll probably get one more fuel can for the truck itself, a diesel can, because there's some 200-mile stretches down in Baja that might not have fuel or might not have diesel fuel specifically. But so far, this is our setup for the back of our truck, which is looking good. That little easer works, even with the door open.
Yeah. Now that the rack is all painted and ready to go, Chris has turned on the diesel heater because it's snowing outside, and we are going to go over our salvage food haul. So it's expired food, and we got a ton of it. So we'll see what we got, and if it's any good. Let's go.
All right, so it is super toasty in here. As you can see, or you saw outside, it is snowing. Our little diesel here is kicking pretty solid ass. We've never experienced with this diesel heaters too much until we got this camper, and it was retrofitted into here by the previous owner, and it is the best upgrade I think this camper has.
Absolutely, and it sips diesel.
So we might not be able to use this too much while we're in Baja, but it is super awesome here in North Carolina while it is dumping snow outside to be able to pack your camper with our awesome cheap foods with this warm diesel heater.
So basically we discovered this store that sells expired or near expired foods.
Mostly dented cans, overstock items, a lot of we saw a lot of Christmas stuff in there. It's January, so a lot of Christmas stuff and a lot of recently expired stuff, but for very cheap.
$5.
$5 for 120 cups of coffee. It's a pretty good deal.
We have been on this protein bar and protein drink aisle for the longest amount of time because we always want to stop and get these at gas stations and stores when you're passing through, so you're not getting chips and stuff that just makes you feel like crap. But they're always so expensive. Nothing here on this aisle as far as protein bar goes are above $1. Everything is under $1. And so then it's like, well, try them all. Why not? We have so many protein bars.
So for things like if you exercise at all, these Quest bars, these delicious little Quest bars, which have like less than 1 gram of sugar and 20 grams of protein, which I like, these are 49 cents in there. Bars like this are almost $3 and $4 if you buy them anywhere else. So
yeah,
huge discounts and stuff like this because we're trying to eat healthy as we cross the country, because neither of us have health insurance. So our
exercise is the best medicine.
Yeah, our own health insurance is our diet and our exercise.
Yeah.
So we try to eat healthy with stuff like this. We have not just a few of these protein bars, and this is just a small fraction of what's in that box.
We got about 30 protein bars.
We looked this up on Amazon. We spent $9 on these protein bars.
Yeah, all the protein bars, $9.
It's $100 with a protein bar, so we're less than 1/10 of the investment by buying them almost or slightly expired.
Yes, and they hold up for so long. These Quest bars could probably sit on the shelves for 4 years. You wouldn't know the difference.
They dry out a little bit. How are you going to know? They're dry to begin with. But
yeah.
we also found, what I'm very excited about, is these Magic Spoon knockoffs. Magic Spoon, if you listen to any podcast ever, you know about Magic Spoon, and they're always selling it on there. Anyway, these cereals are keto friendly, and there's no like wheat or rice in them. They're made out of
whey protein.
Yeah, whey protein. They're made out of milk. And these have 15 grams of protein, only 3 grams of net carb, 1 gram of sugar. These boxes of cereal, we looked at them on Amazon.
$8 a box.
They're 98 cents for 3 boxes in there. They had them marked at $1.49. The people around here aren't too interested in keto.
Yeah.
So they were even marked down cheaper than the price on the box. There were 3 for 98 cents. These are $8 a piece. So we'll be eating these on the road also.
Yes.
We also got some of this for $2.98. It's about a third of the price of the original price. And the thing about this, if you've been following your food news, you know that how bad seed oils are and how they're being correlated to a lot of cancers and a lot of heart disease. We have switched to mostly olive oil, but it has to be a reputable brand. Most olive oil on the shelf is a lie. Most of it is mixed and blended with other oils, or it has been stripped with chemicals to remove the rancid taste because they use rotten olives. And then when you strip them, chemically strip them or cook them, they become less healthy and, in fact, unhealthy in many situations. So we found a reputable brand for a discount. So in keeping in theme of staying healthy, because we don't have health insurance and we're on a budget, we found some cheap olive oil. We're going to attempt to substitute as much of our diet as possible with seafood once we get into Mexico. We brought our surf rods. You saw we just built our stand to hold our surf rods. And you can't have fish after we just spent 3 years on Guam without kimchi base. So we stopped by the local Asian grocery store, got some kimchi base, because we will get a comment every time that we cook fish without kimchi base about how we need to be using kimchi base. So we're going to finally do mayo and kimchi base with some fish.
It's the island style,
yeah,
the local style.
that's what everybody tells me we got to do. So they probably weren't wanting me to do it on a pizza. So we cut you off at the pass. We have the kimchi base, and we'll be putting it on a fish in Baja, hopefully.
All in all, we spent $108 at that expired food shop. And our rough estimate based off of the protein bars, the expensive cereals, and a lot of the other smaller stuff we got, we think it would be around $300. And we walked out of there with $100. So
that extra $200 for us, that's a lot of diesel fuel getting from here in North Carolina to Mexico, down to Baja, and then back up.
Yes. So that little bit of money goes a long way for us, especially on this tight budget.
All right, so yesterday was snowing, and today, as you can see, it is 60 degrees and warm, and I'm in a t-shirt. The most exciting part about this video is we get to install these new Torklift fast guns, which we're really excited about. Torklift sent us these to try out, and we're super stoked because it's going to make maintenance on the vehicle a lot easier if we can just flip a lever, which is how these fast guns work, and you can pull your camper off. You're not screwing anything or adjusting anything. And then the second thing is we currently have these big, ugly, rusty chains, which are not galvanized or anything. It's just rusty old chains, and we get to take those off because our new Torklift fast guns will be long enough to reach our frame-mounted Torklift tie-down to our camper. And this is going to just, I'll be shallow here, it's going to look better. So
aren't those stainless steel too?
Yeah, these are stainless, which will be nice on Baja. All this stuff is stainless, and then we got it in this pretty powder-coated black color here to kind of match the tie-downs and, look nice, because not a lot of things we have look nice, but these will. We got a lot of safety Nazis in our comments sometimes. This is a chrome socket on an impact gun, which you're not supposed to do, but I'll squint my eyes in case the socket shatters, so you don't have to worry about that. See? It was fine. So this is threaded. There's a nut in here you have to put together. It's a really easy installation procedure with a really well printed manual, which I enjoy because so much that I put together will come with really crappy manuals and parts. This has about 2 nuts you need to put together, 2 rubber O-rings on each one, and that's it. It's really simple. Because I've been putting together a lot of stuff lately that has no instructions or horrible instructions, and these are really simple, even for a homunculus like me. It's quiet moments like this when the bad thoughts creep in. You're a failure, you're a loser, not as strong as you used to be. Still cute as you used to be, though. That's when those kind of thoughts creep in.
I'm sure this is what Torklift wants to hear in our review process.
Probably not. This is why I normally listen to a podcast. Keeps the bad thoughts out. So for our measurement here, you're supposed to take a half-inch measurement from this mounting point. The issue is that this mounting point, it's a removable point, and so it's a piece of tube steel inside of a bigger piece of tube. But what that does is, just like a trailer hitch, it gives a little bit of slop. So I'm not sure where to measure from, so I think I'm going to hold up on it to take the slop out and then measure that half-inch. If that's not correct, please leave in the comments down below that you're supposed to leave the sag in there. So I'm going to take the sag out with my fingers and then measure half an inch. So that seems right to me, but we'll just see how that works. Leave in the comments below if that is wrong.
That's close.
That's closer, 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to back it off a little bit, but now we got it figured out. Paying attention to this, how to adjust these. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these on. All right, and with that, super satisfying click. and they're good to go.
One other thing we wanted to show was not only did Torklift send us these fast guns, they also sent us locks for the fast guns. So come look. So these are locks by Torklift, and they fit perfectly in their fast gun locking mechanism. These are stainless steel as well, and they have these rubber caps, so it keeps the keyhole covered from all of the salt water that we're about to encounter and the sand. And it also has a rubber washer on this side so that there's no noise or movement in the lock. The other great thing about this is that if you happen to have a truck camper where the tie down goes in front of your fuel cap, these fast guns, it's an easy unlock with one key, undo here, pull down, fill up your gas, close it, and put it right back on. You're not going to be spending 15-20 minutes at a gas pump trying to move these out of the way. Luckily, we don't have that issue, but it's still super convenient to have these quick locks and the fast guns. So thank you again, Torklift. These are awesome, and we're looking forward to breaking them in for our Baja trip. So we thought that we would be leaving tomorrow, and today would be the packing and cleaning day, and we wanted to bleach the water tank before we left. So we filled the water tank up, and you have to run the air out of the line, so we turned on the faucet, and the water's just pouring on the outside shower. And so I was like, oh my God, Chris, the outside shower isn't turning off. And he's like, okay, let me get at it from the inside. And then we opened this cupboard, and lo and behold, not only is the outdoor shower having issues with not turning on or off, but our entire kitchen sink faucet is pouring water inside the cabinet. So we have an outdoor shower problem where we can't turn the water off, and then we have a sink problem where the sink is leaking. We've been at this for probably about 2 or 3 hours now, and Chris just ended up going to get another faucet, and we're hoping that this is the fix, so we'll see. But at least I can stick my tiny little shoulders in here and kind of fix this stuff. Oh God, all right, so it's fixed now. We just had to replace the entire faucet. Do you have the old one? Basically what had happened was this piece that comes down to connect to the water lines, this is made of plastic, and it cracked at the seam, and so it was just spurting out water under high pressure. And the replacement that we got is made of metal, so it works. There's no water dripping, so we've fixed the faucet now. There's no leaking there. Now we have to tackle the outdoor shower. Both of these were unforeseen events. We thought it was ready to go. We just had to pack it, but this is our day today instead. Working now.
All right, seems to be working now. I'm not going to fiddle with it too much more because we're about out of money and our $4,000 budget's getting blown by the minute. So let's get to Baja. This is at least fixed enough. This is good enough for government work, so let's get out of there.
All right, so we've got all of the water fixes done. Our outdoor shower works, our sink works with no leaks on either of those. We've also cleaned and waxed the truck, so we reduced any of the salt buildup or further rust, hopefully. We also cleaned the outside of the camper. Not perfect, but better than it was. We loaded the dirt bike on the front, so we're ready to go with that. And we have all of our gas tanks and generators loaded on the back.
All that's left is packing up our clothes, which are in the washer machine right now, and getting the tools finalized, making sure that I have a fastener or that I have a wrench for every size fastener that we have on here, metric and standard. And then we're headed towards Baja, and I'm very excited to stay. The first place we have decided to stay on this trip, keep in mind this is a $4,000 budget, and we're gonna stay as many free places as possible, is the first free place is a very cool place.
We wanted to go there for years.
I've driven past it for years. It's an icon, and we're gonna try to camp there for free as our first stop, and that will be in Memphis, Tennessee. So
yeah, so that'll be the next video.
About an 8-hour drive from here. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning, and we're super excited to be to Baja. So thanks to all the Patreon subscribers. You guys are helping make this happen. Thanks for Torklift. Thank you to everybody, and we'll see you guys next time on our way to Baja.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye. We're going to Baja. There's like 8 screws to this vent cover, and just holding my arms up like this and staring directly above my face to take this off and put this back on. I feel like Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel, except he took 4 years to do this, and this is like 15 minutes for me. But I can't imagine how uncomfortable this would have been. Some people think that he actually painted the ceiling lying down. That's a misconception that probably comes from this film adaptation of Michelangelo painting. He did it standing up just like this. They just had wooden scaffolding, and he just stood upright, looking straight up, painting above his face for 4 years. He even wrote a poem about his misery and torture trying to finish that up, and called his face a fine floor for paint droppings. So, oh, thank goodness this is only 15 minutes.